Hello gamers. I am Benjamingamer. This is my first video on my channel. Today I have compiled a top 10 list of the largest game worlds, with the most detailed details. The release of projects is made for 2000 to 2010. If you like this video, then do not forget to like and leave a comment on what topic you would like the next video to be. I honestly do not know what to expect from YouTube in our 2025, but still, maybe someone will be interested. I want to expand, realizing for myself that the best art like video games and hip-hop I will not find anything. I decided to make videos in the niche that I like. Let's finish with an introduction. Enjoy watching. The game offered a truly huge world with more than 1,000 square kilometers to explore. Players could fly planes, ride cars, arrange destructive shootouts, and just enjoy the freedom of movement on a huge island. The game world is divided into many islands and settlements located on them. There are expensive and modern cities, and there are poor villages where people make ends meet. All this is united by a tough dictatorship and total control over the population of the country. The main role of our hero named Rico is to liberate settlements from the government army that oppresses the people. There are hundreds of such settlements, so to liberate them all, it will take about 100 hours. The transport in the game is impressive. You can use absolutely any of them. The physics of the cars, of course, leaves much to be desired, but as they say, it will do. To capture settlements, it is necessary to destroy important objects, such as power plants, communication points, water towers, cranes, etc. You also need to find boxes with money, parts of weapons and transport. To find them, we will use the indicator on the radar, which fills up when approaching the box. The game world wasn't as big as other games on this list, but the world of Hyrule offered a huge amount of explorable locations, from forests and mountains to snowy wastelands and massive dungeons. It was one of the largest games in the series. Game world and its scale. Huge map. The game world includes several vast regions such as forests, mountains, fields, wastelands, and dungeons. The terrain ranges from green pastures to dangerous mountain ranges and dark underground areas. Each region is unique and has its own characteristics, be it climate conditions or enemy types. Freedom of exploration. Players can freely roam the world, from towns like Kazudan and Korevok to remote locations like the darkened forest and forgotten plains. Many locations hide secrets, mysteries, and side quests that require attentiveness and curiosity. Natural landscapes. The world includes a variety of ecosystems, from green forests and fields to cold snowy mountains and dark gloomy areas, striking in their atmosphere and detail. Each location has its own unique conditions that affect the gameplay, such as icy areas or foggy forests. Multi-layered. The game combines open spaces with more closed areas such as dungeons and caves that contain puzzles and boss fights. Many locations are only accessible after obtaining certain items or abilities, adding an element of exploration and strategy. Variety of vehicles. The hero, Link, can use a variety of modes of transportation, including his trusty horse, Epona, which makes exploring large areas much faster. Time of day dependence. Day and night play a key role in the world of Twilight Princess. Some locations open or change depending on the time of day, and many quests and events can be affected by whether the sun is shining or it is nighttime. Mythology and history. The game world is not only large, but also filled with deep stories and myths. Legends associated with different races and events are revealed as you progress, adding richness and depth to the world. Released in 2004 by Blizzard Entertainment, is one of the most popular massively multiplayer online games, MMORPGs, on the planet. The WoW gaming universe is vast and diverse. Its size is impressive in terms of both geography and history. The virtual world of WoW consists of several continents, each of which is divided into different areas, regions, and dungeons. At the time of release in 2004, players had 2 continents available for exploration. Kalimdor is one of the main continents of the game, including famous locations such as Orchestra Mountain, Sylvan Valley, Duroder, and others. The Eastern Kingdoms is the second continent, which includes zones such as Stormwind, Icelands, Lair of the Ancients, and many others. In subsequent expansions, new continents and regions were added. Northrend in the Wrath of the Lich King expansion 2008. Pandaria in the Mists of Pandaria expansion 2012. Draenor in the Warlords of Draenor expansion 2014. Azeroth in the expansion Battle for Azeroth 2018. Each of these territories has its own unique characteristics, natural features, culture, ecosystem, and history. The scale of the WoW world is constantly expanding with each new expansion. The size of WoW can be assessed by several parameters. Number of locations. When the game launched in 2004, there were around 70 to 80 different locations available, and with each expansion the number of places to explore increased, including dungeons, raids, and other areas. Number of continents. There were originally 2 continents, Kalimdor and the Eastern Kingdoms, with more added later. Replayability. The scale of the game is also evident in the fact that each new character can begin the adventure from different locations, and the choice of faction, professions and classes creates an endless number of options in the gameplay. The WoW world, called Azeroth, has a deep and multi-layered history that is gradually revealed through quests, events, and storylines. Legends, wars between factions, alliance and horde, uprisings, and invasions of Azeroth make the world alive and constantly changing. The plot includes clashes with the Legion, invasions of the undead army, battles with dragons and ancient gods. The WoW world is not limited to exploration. It actively encourages interaction between players, guild creation, trading, team battles, raids and mass battles. These social elements play a key role in the scale of the game, creating a space for communication and cooperation. The virtual world of Warcraft is not just a map, but a living, constantly changing world with a rich background, unique locations and diverse characters. The scale of this world is impressive in its diversity and depth, giving players the opportunity to explore new continents, participate in large-scale events and interact with other users for years. This is the most realistic Far Cry among all that are currently available. Let's not mention the 6th one, which I will not even play. Far Cry 1 is a childhood game, the juiciest shooter at that time, but 4 years later, Far Cry 2 meets us. Even before creating this video, I had already played this game and I liked it most of all. Driving a car, then suddenly driving past an outpost and they start shooting at you and you have a bunch of ways to deal with opponents. Okay, no matter how many opponents you kill, they still appear back. Perhaps this is even better than running in a cleared 3, where there will be no living creatures after 100% completion. In Far Cry 2, I like the very feeling of the character, the fact that you feel him. The shooting is very pleasant, and the open world itself with which you can interact as you like. We all know the beautiful fires, that dry foliage burns, and more juicy burns weaker and the fire spreads more slowly than on higher living creatures. The open world with an African setting was filled with jungles, deserts, cities and villages. The game allowed players to move freely around the huge world, carry out missions and interact with various factions. Far Cry 2 offers the player a vast open world in which they can freely move around the territory of a fictional African country engulfed in civil war. The world space consists of various biomes such as savannas, jungles, deserts and bodies of water, which gives the games a sense of realism and diversity. Dimensions of the world. The game's world is quite large, but not completely seamless like some other open-world games. It's divided into several large regions that can be explored. Travel between them is done using a variety of vehicles, including cars, boats, and even aircraft, which emphasizes the game's scale. Research process. Far Cry 2's world can be explored on foot or by vehicle, and as the player travels, they encounter a variety of random events, from enemy encounters to natural obstacles such as adverse weather conditions. Dynamic day/night cycles and the impact of weather conditions on gameplay add an element of unpredictability. Mechanics of the world. Nature and ecosystem. The game pays attention to the details of the environment. It is important not only to consider the landscape, but also to interact with it. For example, avoid poisonous snakes, upgrade weapons, and also heal yourself from wounds using local herbs. Missions and activities. Players can follow the main storyline or participate in side missions. Each mission is located in one of the areas, which creates the illusion of constant movement across a huge world. Weather and transport. The weather changes in real time and affects visibility and movement. For example, rain or sandstorms can limit visibility, making some missions more difficult. Transport also plays an important role in exploring the world, and damage from bullets and rough roads can impair its performance. Difficulties. The scale of the world also includes an element of survival. Limited resources, such as ammo and medicine, the need to frequently change weapons due to wear and tear, and the constant threat of attacks from enemies all make exploring the world a challenge. Overall, the world of Far Cry 2 is a vast, rich and dangerous place where every choice matters and affects the further development of events. While the game's world was not as gigantic as others, it was impressively detailed. Recreated Renaissance cities such as Venice and Florence were filled with historical detail, side quests, and exploration. Cities. All major cities, such as Florence, Venice, Rome, and others, are key to the story and are actively explored by players. These cities are full of life, with markets, plazas, merchants, guards, civilians, and gangs. This creates a sense of a dynamic and rich world that is a significant improvement over the previous game. Open world. The game uses the open world principle, which allows players to freely move around cities, complete various side quests, and explore the surrounding world, without being limited to the main story. Unlike the first game, where cities were divided into sectors, here the world has become more holistic and interconnected. Landscape and nature. Outside of cities, players can explore more open natural areas such as mountains, fields, and forests, adding variety and expanding the horizons of the game world. The scale of the cities. The graphics of the game allow you to enjoy the splendor of large-scale architectural objects, such as cathedrals, palaces, and majestic squares. An important element of the gameplay is parkour, which allows you to easily move around these buildings and explore them at different levels. Technical features. The use of the Anvil engine allowed for the creation of highly detailed and vast cities. The world is highly interactive. You can climb onto roofs, interact with NPCs, trade, and complete various quests and tasks. Thus, Assassin's Creed 2 significantly expanded and improved the concept of the game world compared to the first part, offering a larger, more vibrant and diverse world, which became the basis for the future development of the entire series. Oh, this baby got me going in the fall of 2024. It was something. In general, I am a fan of Rockstar projects. I have been a fan of their creations since childhood. I have completed all parts of GTA 100%, even playing on PSP itself, by the way. The first full walkthroughs took place there. I completed part 4. Honestly, let's move away from RDR a little. But I didn't like GTA 5 so much, or something on the 100% walkthrough. I don't know, something is wrong, and I would like something like in Bully or in GTA 3 and 4, such open world game design. RDR 1 is coming out on PC. I am still the person who has not had time to try the second part. I decided to play it first, naturally not on Steam for its horse price for a 15-year-old game. Pirates happen to everyone, but what I saw in this game made me play it all the time. I went through quest after quest, without using fast travel. I enjoyed the desert so much that when I hadn't even finished half the story, I was already thinking how to get to Mexico because the rating was great, and the game world itself made me fall in love with it. Random characters and quests that accompanied me. I was in no hurry to run and complete the main plot as it happens in most games, but simply enjoyed the open world. I felt like a stoner there, somewhere far away in the empty, and just traveled. Players are given a vast world to explore, featuring a variety of landscape types, from wastelands and mountain ranges to rolling plains and dense forests. Not only are these areas meticulously rendered, but they also feature unique ecosystems and changing weather that impact gameplay. The game features several large regions and towns, such as Blackwater, St. Denis, and others. These locations play a key role in the development of the plot and are filled with characters to interact with and offer a variety of activities, bar fights, gambling, trade, and others. In addition, the game opens up vast prairies, rural settlements, train stations, forts, and other unique locations for players to explore. Nature and landscape. Red Dead Redemption places a strong emphasis on natural landscapes and the diversity of flora and fauna. Players can encounter and hunt various species of animals such as bison, bears, and elk, or simply explore nature. This creates a sense of a living world where nature and human activity are harmoniously intertwined. Map scale. Red Dead Redemption's map is gigantic in size and can be explored on horseback, on foot, or by vehicle. Traveling between remote locations takes a long time, which adds to the game's realism and sense of space. Dynamic ecosystem. The game world also experiences various dynamic changes such as day and night cycles, weather conditions, and seasons, which affect the behavior of animals, NPCs, and the overall atmosphere of the game. Different parts of the map have different climates, such as humid forests in the east and arid wastelands in the west. Red Dead Redemption uses the Rage engine, which allowed the creation of a vast and detailed world, while maintaining high-quality graphics and performance. The game actively uses elements of interaction with the surrounding world, from hunting and fishing to interaction with various factions and characters, which helps to deeply reveal the atmosphere of that time. Thus, Red Dead Redemption offered players a huge, living and rich world that combined elements of exploration, adventure, historical context, and interaction with the environment. The scale of the map, the variety of locations, and the realism of nature became the most important aspects of the game, which allowed it to gain recognition among fans of open worlds. It is one of the best examples of open world in the Western genre. Vast prairies, canyons, cities, and settlements, where every corner was filled with details, allowed players to enjoy not only epic shootouts, but also calm exploration of the world. I will add a few words from myself. I passed Fallout 3 more than once, and this is the only part that I associate with green. I think you understand me. In New Vegas we often meet yellow colors, and in Part 4 the aesthetics of America of the 60s. In Part 4 and the beginning I like more than in any part. Many do not like the more drawn out and long beginning, but I really like not the first time to face opponents in the person of rude people. But I like studying the open world in detail most of all in Part 4, there and the aesthetics are more native. After the nuclear war, the world of Fallout 3 became post-apocalyptic, opening before the players a huge territory with destroyed cities, abandoned dungeons and radiation wastelands. The game offered players a huge amount of freedom in how they explored and interacted with the world. Players are given a vast and devastated world to explore, from underground shelters to the remains of a former civilization. Many locations are available from the start, and players are free to roam around them, encountering a variety of different objects, from ruined cities and military bases to abandoned mines and radiated wastelands. The world of Fallout 3 includes a variety of significant locations, such as the ruined Washington, D.C., its surroundings, military complexes, and other important areas, including underground shelters, vaults, which play a key role in both gameplay and story development. Here, players can meet NPCs, trade, complete quests, and explore hidden corners of the world. The game's post-apocalyptic world features a variety of landscapes, including both open wastelands and polluted water bodies. Destroyed cities sit alongside vast forests, collapsed buildings, and abandoned industrial zones. The world is filled with radiation areas where players must be careful, as well as anomalous zones where rare items and resources can be found. Map scale. Fallout 3's map is vast and can take a long time to travel. Players can move around on foot, or by fast travel, or using vehicles if they find one. Exploring new locations and discovering the world becomes the core of the gameplay, giving players a lot of freedom of action. Dynamic ecosystem. The game world features dynamic elements such as day/night cycles, changing weather conditions, and various natural phenomena including radiation storms. These factors impact survival, enemy behavior, and the game's atmosphere. Radiation also affects the character's health, adding a strategic element to the choice of route and actions. Fallout 3 uses the Gamebryo engine, which allowed the creation of a detailed and large-scale map, while maintaining a balance between the open world and technical limitations. The game actively uses elements of interaction with the surrounding world, from searching for artifacts and rare items to completing tasks for various factions, which allows players to fully immerse themselves in the post-apocalyptic atmosphere. Ultimately, Fallout 3 offered players a huge, living and destroyed world where exploration and freedom of choice became the main elements of the gameplay. The large map, variety of locations, and atmospheric post-apocalypse attracted the attention of players, making the game one of the most significant in the RPG genre. Third place. The Elder Scrolls IV: Oblivion, 2006. Unlike Morrowind, Oblivion offered better graphics and easy controls. The world of Cyrodiil with its many cities, dungeons, forests, and wastelands was filled with side quests and historical plots. Released in 2006, The Elder Scrolls IV: Oblivion offers players a vast, open world that was significantly more detailed and polished than other games of its time. The game's world includes a variety of regions, landscapes, settlements, and unique locations, giving the game a deep atmosphere and a huge amount of space to explore. The world of Oblivion is based in the context of the fictional Elder Scrolls universe, and the main continent is Tamriel, where the events of the game take place. The game takes place in the Kingdom of Cyrodiil, the central province of Tamriel, which is a vast territory with diverse landscapes and many interesting places to explore. The Kingdom of Cyrodiil is a vast territory with diverse natural zones. In Cyrodiil, you can find dense forests, high mountains, vast plains, swamps, and rivers. In the center of the region is the capital, the Imperial City, which is one of the largest and most important cities in the game, where key events take place and where important quests are concentrated. Mountainous and forested regions from the cold northern mountains to the green forests of the south, the Cyrodiil region is filled with a variety of landscapes. Some parts of the map contain dangerous creatures and hidden dungeons filled with monsters, treasures, and secrets. Oblivion Gates. The game's plot revolves around the Oblivion Gates that open up all over Cyrodiil. These gates lead to a parallel dimension filled with fiery landscapes and dangerous creatures. Exploring these gates is an important part of the game, and they give players a unique opportunity to fight powerful enemies and find rare items. World size. The Oblivion map is generally quite large, with dimensions that allow the player to explore vast areas. While it is not as expansive as some other games, such as GTA San Andreas, it still offers a large number of different areas to explore and is filled with detail. The player can freely roam the open world, visiting towns, villages, temples and castles, exploring dungeons and completing quests. The map size can be described as quite large for a role-playing game of that time. In addition, the game features many dungeons and various hidden locations, which give players the feeling that the world never ends. Magic and quests. In the world of Oblivion, players can interact with the world not only through physical actions, but also through magic. There are different schools of magic in the game, and each region can offer unique magical features or artifacts. In addition, the game includes a large number of quests, from the main story to side quests. To get around the vast world of Oblivion, players can use a variety of transportation methods, such as walking, riding horses, and fast traveling through maps and towns to save time. The game has a day and night system, changing seasons and weather, which adds additional atmosphere to what is happening. Some events can only occur at a certain time of day, and certain enemies can only be active at night. The world of Oblivion features several factions and races, including both friendly and hostile creatures. Players can join different guilds, such as the Mages Guild or the Thieves' Brotherhood, adding even more depth to the game. Conclusion. The world of Oblivion is one of the deepest and most rich worlds ever created for an RPG. Its vast landscapes, detailed cities, rich mythology, and many hidden corners make it one of the most striking examples of an open world in video games. Although the map is not as large as some other games, Oblivion still offers the player plenty of opportunities to explore, adventure, and interact with the world around them. Good old San Andreas. Yes, everyone liked it very much, including me. Its open world at the time of 2004 amazed absolutely everyone, considering that the developed world impressed with its scale. However, the detailing was not so impressive, and the graphics were largely cut, because the Sony 2 engine simply could not handle such a large, huge world. I will add that my favorite part is GTA 3. I loved passing Liberty City in the third part. I really liked it as well as the aesthetics. I felt at home there. I don't know why. I knew every corner on the map. I could get where I needed to go without a map. I often looked at the skyscrapers on the second island and thought that some family lived there. Where the father came home, these newfangled elevators in the 2000s, well, I went far and deep. About Carl Johnson, I would like to say that besides all the cities I liked, naturally, like all normal people, I didn't like deserted and rural areas. But I loved to study everything else. I immersed myself in the world, and when in the 16th, GTA SA came out on Android and iOS, I played it with joy. I would also like to mention GTA Samp. Always when older guys told me about GTA SA Online, I imagined something similar. That only in our time appeared on the internet. Insert video. You see, a dream comes true, although when I finally found out what GTA Samp is, you can't imagine how upset I was. I saw screenshots from GTA LCS and GTA VCS, related to the online mode. I really wanted to chop on the map of GTA 3 and Vice City, only online, and imagined what kind of meat could be stirred up. But alas, this is only possible in our time, when this is not particularly necessary. In the game Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, released in 2004, the game world is one of the most extensive and detailed for its time. The project offers players a huge map consisting of 3 large cities and vast rural areas, which allows you to create a sense of a real living world. Geography of the world of San Andreas. Los Santos is the largest and most famous city in the game, based on Los Angeles. It includes different areas, such as poor suburbs, downtown areas with tall buildings, beaches, and wealthy areas. The city contains elements reminiscent of real areas of Los Angeles. San Fierro is a city inspired by San Francisco. It features hills, bridges, and historic neighborhoods that give it a Northern California feel. Notable features include a bridge reminiscent of the famous Golden Gate Bridge and parks with stunning views. Las Venturas is a city similar to Las Vegas, famous for its casinos, nightclubs, and original architecture. It is a place for gambling and entertainment, very different from other cities of the game in its atmosphere. In addition to these cities, San Andreas has vast rural and mountainous areas, forests, deserts, and rivers. These areas take up a significant portion of the map and offer the player many opportunities to explore and complete missions. The San Andreas map was far ahead of its time in terms of scale. The total area of the map is about 36 square kilometers. This is a huge space, which contains not only cities, but also various natural landscapes, such as mountains, forests, bodies of water, and desert areas. Transportation. The game features a variety of transportation options, including cars, motorcycles, bicycles, planes, and even trains. This allows players to quickly move around the vast expanses of the map. City life. Each city has elements of a living environment, such as NPCs going about their daily business, changing time of day, changing weather, and other details that create atmosphere and life within the game. Interactivity. Players can interact with the world around them, visit stores, exercise, eat at restaurants, participate in sports games, and influence their character's social environment. This adds depth to the game and provides additional opportunities for exploration. Conclusion. The world of GTA San Andreas is one of the most ambitious and expansive in gaming of its time. The vast territories, carefully designed cities, and variety of landscapes made it one of the most impressive and beloved gaming worlds in history. The massive world, based on real-life locations in Southern California, included not only sprawling cities but also rural areas, deserts, and mountains. San Andreas offered players extensive opportunities for exploration, world with rich lore, diverse locations, and the ability to travel across different regions, including desert plains, mountain ranges, and waterways. It is one of the most significant open-world RPG games. The game takes place in the province of Morrowind, which is part of the continent of Tamriel in the Elder Scrolls universe. Morrowind is a region with unusual geography and diverse landscapes that differ from traditional fantasy worlds. One of the features of this region is volcanic activity, ancient ruined structures, and wildlife. Redhorn Volcano is the main natural feature of the world. It is an active volcano located in the center of the map, which has a great influence on the atmosphere of the game. The volcano is not only a natural hazard, but also an important element of the mythology and plot of the game. Its eruptions play a key role in the unfolding events. Black Island Vardenfell is the main island where the game's plot takes place, and has a variety of ecosystems. Here you can find desert and rocky areas, tropical forests, swampy areas, mountains, and wooded areas. The capital of the region, Vivek, is also located here, a multi-level city with temples, in which the cultural and religious elements of the local peoples are intertwined. Hidden areas. Morrowind also features hidden and sometimes dangerous places such as caves, abandoned ruins, and dungeons full of monsters, traps, and valuable artifacts. Exploring these places is one of the main features of the game, where the player can discover hidden quests and ancient items. Compared to other games in the series, the world of Morrowind is quite large, although not as large as Oblivion or Skyrim. However, its size is still impressive, as the maps, locations, and cities are carefully designed. Players can freely travel around the open world, exploring each area, visiting numerous villages and cities, interacting with characters, and taking part in various quests. The Morrowind map is over 40 square kilometers in size, making it quite large for a game of its time. The world features several unique regions, each with its own character, which allows for deep exploration and gameplay variety. Transportation. While Morrowind does not allow instantaneous travel across the entire map, players can use various methods of travel, such as ships, boats, and monsters that can be tamed or hired to travel quickly. These methods add variety to exploration and make it more fun. Morrowind has a strong sense of cultural and religious diversity. The locals, primarily the Dunmer, Dark Elves, worship a variety of gods and mythological creatures. Players can join various guilds and factions, such as the Mages Guild, the Thieves' Brotherhood, or the Hlala Clan, and undertake unique quests that influence the development of the world and the storylines. Magic and artifacts. Magic plays a key role in Morrowind, and the world is full of unique artifacts, ancient items, and spells. Many areas, such as ancient ruins or dwarven temples, hide magical objects that can greatly enhance a character's abilities or change the course of events. While Morrowind doesn't have the complex dynamic world-changing system of later games in the series, the game world still has its own rhythm. Players can observe the day and night cycle, and interact with NPCs whose behavior can change depending on the events taking place in the game. The world of Morrowind is one of the most unique and atmospheric in the Elder Scrolls series. Its size and detailed landscapes create the feeling of a living and multi-layered world, where every corner hides new secrets and adventures. This world remains one of the most beloved among RPG fans due to its unique atmosphere, complex mythology, and deep opportunities for interaction with the environment. This is where our video ends. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like and support the video with a nice comment. Believe me, I read all the comments. New videos will be coming out soon. All the best.